Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 199. Lamar, Mary had a little lamb.
Well, we are continuing the tradition of ruining, our childhoods. Ironically, we think that this is the same company that made Winnie the Pooh, what is it, Blood and Honey?
There's some
Maybe.
similarities, at
There are
least.
some similarities, and so I guess they're switching over to Mary Had a Little Lamb, the nursery rhyme, turning the lamb into a mutant beast.
Well, Lamar, let's get started. What do we think of the story?
Okay. I always say this at least. It has a decent base. You have Carla. Maybe a British woman. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure she's British.
She doesn't sound British. Everybody else sounds British, but
maybe you just don't have an ear for British women.
That's what I'm saying. But she has a podcast where she talks about unsolved mysteries and it's not doing so well. And so she's like, man, you gotta ratchet up. You gotta take it up a notch. And so they decide to investigate these two teens that get killed. And then they run into, an old lady and her monster friend.
Well, like you said, it does have a base, but the way the story is told, and the thing that killed me, Lamar, is the way the story ended. It was the laziest ending to to a movie I think I've ever seen. But I gotta say, I think Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey ended with something similar. I don't even remember that movie that well, but I think it was a similar ending.
I agree, Joe. I think that's the problem. I think one of the biggest problems you can have with a horror movie is where you leave it on, a very dry, bland ending.
Yeah.
But I feel like the good ones have it where you see the monster might be getting killed, and then it's like the hand comes up or did it.
Yeah.
No, this movie doesn't do that.
It's just we gotta end it now.
It's over.
I mean, there was parts of the movie that I liked. There were some other parts that were kind of boring to me, but the ending just killed me. So I'll give it a half point because the premise was there. But goddamn.
Agreed. It has a premise, but they don't build on it, Joe.
Yeah. Well, we move on to the next category, which is the characters.
Yeah.
Well, the old lady was a good character, I thought.
But that's it. That everybody else was just kind of, you had the one couple that was, they like to have sex and everything.
What was that accent?
I don't know. English, whatever. Cockney accent. But yeah, that was it. Everybody else was just kind of there.
Yeah. Even the main girl, because we've seen this woman in other movies, by the way. We've seen her, and she was in Winnie the Pooh. She was in The Killing Tree, which we reviewed. Mm-hmm. But I felt like in this movie, she was just kind of, like a little underutilized or whatever.
Like you said, the old woman was good.
She was good.
Well, we'll talk about the monster.
What do you give it for characters then?
I don't know. I'm being petty. I'm giving it a 0.
Oh wow, I'm giving it a half point because she did give a lot of effort. That lady.
She did.
So
but
she kind of saved.
Yeah.
She saved it for me. Well, the next category, as you said, the monster. What did we? What did you think of him?
Keep on bringing up Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I think one of our problems is that with that movie, it's just a guy in a mask running around. He's big and he's just killing people. We wanted maybe, some honey kills or some bear kills or something like that. Same thing with this one. There was I thought lambs get, don't they get sheathed for their wool or whatever?
Yeah.
Whatever.
So you want to have that tool or something?
Yeah, add something to it, and it's just like he bad a couple of times. I don't know what the technical term is, but it's just kind of like it was just big guy in a mask.
I wouldn't know what else you could do with him. I mean, they did give him a backstory of why it was the way he was.
Sure.
And I thought it looked okay. But like you said, he didn't do that much. I'll give it a half point. Yeah, that's
the mouth didn't move again. I'm having a problem with that.
Oh, okay.
A little close up would have been fine of the mouth moving.
So what are you giving it?
I'm giving it a 0.
Oh, wow. We move on to the next category, which is the special effects. And I
Okay,
guess we could put
everything
kills into this as well.
kills and effects. Once again, okay, everything was practical,
Yes.
but it's almost like it was just okay. It wasn't like it was just like, all right, it's there. What did you think?
I thought it was pretty good for what they were working with, honestly. Like, there was some, wounds and some blood effects, some gore. Not a lot, but what was there, I thought they did pretty good.
They had real blood. You
Yeah.
saw maybe a couple.
And like you said, so you didn't like the way that the mouth didn't move, but I thought the overall I liked the way the lamb looked. It's just his mouth didn't move, but it looked kind of cool. Did you like it better than Winnie the Pooh?
See, I feel like they're the freaking same.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's guy in mask. Do something. Something.
Well, I'm giving it a half point for special effects. It wasn't the greatest, but I didn't think it was terrible.
I will say this. It wasn't terrible. It was just half point. It was a
Okay.
half point. Yeah.
Well, we move on to our final category, Lamar, which is the gimmick of the movie, because we've seen this. This is a new trend right now. This gimmick
Yes.
of taking the nursery rhymes and the old things from the public domain. How do we rate this one? How it was utilized?
I feel like they could have gone so much further. Like, what if like they had more of like the singing of the nursery rhyme, like,
Like Candyman or something. Like maybe the song conjures
yes,
or something, right? Like they
You
didn't.
start to sing the song in a certain place, and then the little lamb comes and gets you, or something like that. Like something.
Well, the woman was named Mary, I suppose, but and she did have a little lamb, I suppose. So, but they didn't really utilize it to anything unique. Is the
No.
problem? What are you giving it for gimmick?
I'm giving it a 0.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. I'm giving it a 0. Well, Lamar, we tally the score, and this movie gets a 1.5 out of 5.
This trend, like,
It's
add
been
a little bit more.
It's been a
little
letdown
bit.
so far.
Yeah,
this
we were
trend.
kind of excited about this.
We were. And I don't even think that it's so bad. Like, it's shot relatively well for, it's a B movie, so it's shot relatively well and all that. And everyone is doing their best, but the letdown is that they're not utilizing the premise enough.
Maybe the third time's a charm, because a preview of what we're doing later on. We have a 3 Blind Mice one coming up. So.
Yeah, that's coming up soon. What if they send the lamb back in time and he wound you won't even let me finish.
I'm not doing nothing. I'm listening to you.
I'm making the premise more interesting. The lamb goes back in time and he ends up at the manger where Jesus was born.
Oh. Why would he go all the way back to Jesus' time?
Back to his origin.
That's wait a minute. That's the origins of lambs, Joe.
Maybe. We don't know for sure. I'm just saying. It's one of the first lambs. He goes back in time and he's at the manger. And then he goes on a killing spree over there. And Jesus has to stop him. You don't think that would be more interesting than this movie?
Well,
like baby Jesus having to get the killer lamb.
I mean, yeah, that would be more interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
Wild. I'm just trying to see.
Maybe some guns go back in time along with him by accident, and now you have like baby Jesus going after the lamb.
Now you're just throwing stuff out there,
the hell with you. I can't make you happy no matter what. You just don't like time travel, that's all.
If you can do it cleverly.
Yeah, that was plenty clever. The lamb goes back in time. He ends up at the manger. Baby Jesus has to hunt them down. Anyways, well, Mary had a little lamb. 1.5 out of 5. Anyway, peace.
Deuces. Yeah.